tremendously over the past 10 years. Thinking back to how it was in the 20th century even. Static web pages, everyone had a home page. Things were very easy to archive back then. You could just download and save it. Nowadays the web is very different. A lot of dynamic websites and interactive content, streaming media, video, audio, games that people play on the web. And 10 years ago everyone got the web from their computer, and nowadays it's all on your cell phone.
The IIPC is 10 years old, so back in 2003, Google barely existed, YouTube did not exist, Twitter did not exist, Facebook did not exist. The web looked very, very different. It was a very sort of democratic space where each person could have their own website, and that's sort of how they would communicate with others and express their sort of hobbies and what they liked and didn't like about what was going on. Organizations like the IIPC are really important because they can help heritage organizations like libraries or archives or even museums try to figure out how to go about preserving what's on the web so that others can research it or learn from it in the future.
The original goals were to develop the technical foundation, the tools, whatever is needed to really be able to crawl and to collect all the web pages that you need and to form the archive. We also wanted to develop tools for access as well. Our second objective was to develop standards and even metrics for web archiving, and the third one was to get others to spread this around to everybody who was really interested in working on this. Those were really the first three primary goals of the IIPC.
IIPC 在过去做了很多的工作，也做得非常棒。那最初的宗旨是要建立，为这个网络资源采集建立一个工具，然后建立一个我们交流的平台，然后建立一个世界级的这种网络资源的存档的规模。现在我们已经实现了，我们有 Heritage 和 WCT 这些很棒的工具来使用。我们也有这个年会可以去大家进行交流，而且我们国家图书馆也已经建立了自己这个30 TB 的这个存档，他们工作很有成效。
The original goals was to try to get in shape and get the tools that made it possible for a lot of us to actually pull this very complicated activity through. The Nordic countries had been working together for quite some time before IIPC, and we realized that we were too small. 5 institutions in the north of Europe were too small to do that alone. So we really wanted to join a thing like IIPC from the start.
10 years ago, I think it was in 2002, I attended a meeting regarding possible cooperation in the development of a new harvesting tool. All the attendees of the meeting were representatives of institutions that already had some kind of experience in web archiving. Since then, we followed the activities of the IIPC, and very soon we were impressed by the developments which were presented yearly at the International Web Archiving Workshop. The results of this initial consortium were very welcome to all institutions dedicated to preserve the web.
When I began working with the Internet Archive, it was specifically before the IIPC began to help create tools that multiple libraries could use. At the archive and at the other libraries, people were using tools, but they had frustrations with them. Some of them were encumbered with restrictions as to how they could be shared. We had enough experience to know that they didn't work great in certain situations, and we knew what we wanted in the next generation of tools. And the Internet Archive and some of the other libraries really thought that an open source set of tools that wrote the same formats and saved libraries from duplicating effort would be a good idea. That eventually grew into the IIPC.
Just the essence of it being international is great, because these are, even though countries have their own particular differences, this web archiving is an international issue, and we are all tackling it and all dealing with it, and to get perspectives across many countries is a great structure and a great way to organize, to be working together across countries to share ideas and share challenges and find solutions together.